Hello, it's Andrine, Jewish American Priestess. And today is the day of the full solar eclipse in Leo. It will be visible in Greenland, Iceland, Spain, and Portugal. Not where I am. I was supposed to be there, but that didn't happen for a variety of reasons. The eclipse is a time when one heavenly body passes in front of another heavenly body. And in this particular case, the moon, the new moon of Elul, is going to pass between the sun and the earth and darken the sun for a period of time. I've been thinking about that this morning. The sun, which is in the constellation of Leo, which is this bold and courageous constellation about the ego and about really having full feeling of oneself and one's value. And that is going to be eclipsed by the moon. The moon, which is about mystery and silence and coolness and receptive feminine energy. So she, the goddess of the moon, will be passing in front of the sun, in front of that bright, dazzling, courageous, and full of itself Leo sun. And so what that says to me is that that part of ourselves, what we're putting on to perform and find our value in doing and making and serving and showing our gifts, that value is going to be eclipsed by the darkness and silence and stillness and receptivity of the moon. And that shows our side that is inherently valuable, the part of us that deserves love and life just for existing. So today I'm going to do a reading, and it's going to be a full spread. I'm going to take the entire set of Hebrunes and cast them into the bowl. And we're going to see what shows up face up and what shows up face down. And that will give us some information about the shadow part of ourselves is being revealed and the part of ourselves that we are performing to try to earn our worth in the world, and how maybe we can balance those things. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'm going to start by stirring up the letters and feeling into that energy of brightness and darkness. Let's see what's here to be revealed today. We have a lot of letters face down today, and we have a lot of them face up today. Let's take a look and read the entire set. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'll lift up the letters so you can see them as I talk about them, and hopefully this will give us a little bit of information. I'm going to just start right at the top. We have way up here, you can see it's kind of in the shadow of the bowl, we have the letter Bet. Bet is the first letter of Torah. It means house or home. It's sort of a little shelter. It's where we dwell in the world, in our bodies, in our homes, in our schools, in our workplaces. And it's face up right at the top. And this is a sign to me that this is an important part right now. What we're showing, what we're trying to make our bodies more beautiful, make the world reflect ourselves, to make our homes beautiful and our workplace a center of value in our life. And that's not to say they shouldn't, but that's what we're putting forward and what we are leaning into right now to shine, to have value in our life. And that's something worth looking at, about whether that's a place where we really want to place all of our value. Do we want to place it all in the home? Do we want to place our entire value on our family? Do we want to place our entire value on our work or our appearance? Those are questions to ask. So that's right at the top of the reading. Again, slightly eclipsed by the darkness of the bowl, of the light coming into the bowl. Next down in the reading, face up, we have the letter Tav. Tav is the last letter of the alphabet. And it's the letter that means a stamp or a seal, a signature, a completion, a finality. It's the last letter of the word emet, which is the first center and last letter of the alphabet, meaning truth. It's a stamp on truth. And so face up in this position, it sounds like maybe we're putting a lot of value on what we perceive as true and the final outcome of a thing. Like the goal is what gives it value rather than the process. So another thing to consider about whether we are shining the light and putting value on the thing that is the outcome rather than the actual process of the thing, rather the piece of art rather than the making of the art. And whether we're really very invested in finding out what the truth is rather than being in the moment. Tav is about judgment and the finality of judgment. And so I'm feeling like the Tav is here saying, should we be placing so much worth and value on the outcome of a thing rather than the process of a thing? Tav. Right here, kind of in the center of the entire reading, we have the letter Vav. Vav is the connection letter. It's a letter that literally means and in Hebrew. And it's about connection. I think about it as corresponding to the Lover's card in tarot, so connection with another person. Sometimes, I think of it also in connection with the divine, in connection with oneself. But in this position and in this reading, I'm wondering if we're putting maybe a lot of value on our relationship with another person, whether that connection, that our external connections are more valuable than our internal connections. And I don't know that that's true. This is what this eclipse is trying to reveal for us. Really to contemplate how we perceive our relationships, whether they're the thing that give us value in the world. That's one of the other questions that's up right now, right here in the center of this whole reading. And we get a whole cluster of things down at the bottom. And generally when I do a reading, the things that are on the top are the things that are helping, and the things on the bottom are the things that are maybe not serving us. Just a bunch of stuff that's face up near the bottom here. So I'll just go through them kind of as a sweep here. Over here on the right, we have the letter He. He is the letter that begins the word Hineni. I think of that as presence, showing up, being of service. Is that really serving us right now? I mean, we do it to, ideally to serve humanity, to serve each other, to serve the divine, but are we doing it in order to get glory? That's the question that the He is asking here. Next to that, we have Zayin. And Zayin is the sword or the scepter. It's sovereignty. Are we using our power to try to gain some kind of value in our life, wielding power over another. Are we not getting adequate rest? I ask that because this is laying down and it's affiliated with the day of Shabbat. So I wonder, are we getting enough rest, or are we finding value in the not getting rest? There's a lot of, in our society, a lot of, oh, I didn't get very much sleep last night, as if that were something to be proud of. So we need to really face that and question whether our grasping for power or not getting adequate rest are really serving us in this moment. And then we have the letter Yud. Yud, I think of it as a seed, some beginning of an action, planting something to create growth. Are we planting seeds and scattering seeds in order to try to, I mean, it's fine to plant seeds, but are we doing it in order to feel like we're worth something? That's the question here with the Yud. Are we starting too many projects and trying to plant seeds before we're tending the ones we've already planted? Yud. We've got one letter that's face down. I'm going to set it up here for a second when we look at this one. Nun is the letter that is humility. Are we using false humility to try to garner glory in our world? This is about faithfulness and trustworthiness and showing up, being humble or humiliated even. Are we serving, again, too hard in order to try to get some semblance of value from others? It's way down low at the bottom of the reading. It's got this other letter on top of it. I'm just going to put that back. We have the letter Chet. Chet is the letter that begins the word choshek, meaning darkness. And it's about contracts and commitments. It's the first letter of the word chai, meaning life. But it's also just about marrying yourself to a thing. It looks like a marriage chuppah, a canopy for marriage. Are we marrying ourselves and submitting ourselves and making agreements that are not serving right now in order to kind of glorify ourselves in the world? We have the letter Ayin right below that. It's the letter that means I and seeing our way forward. And it's also about completions. It's the number 70, so a very large completion of a project. Are we leaning too heavily into, again, that finality of a project and making sure that we're doing and doing and doing in order to find our glory and our value and our ego in this world? We have the letter Aleph. Aleph, and it's upside down. Aleph is the letter that is the number 1. It's about breath. Are we not catching our breath? Are we wheezing and gasping because we're doing too much? Again, the number 1 in Gematria, the first letter, are we beginning too many things so that we're not being able to take a breath and a rest in our life right now? And below that we have Dalet, and Dalet is the lowest letter in the reading. It's the letter that means a doorway, a gateway. And Dalet, I think of as being affiliated with transformation. And transformation is a good thing, but again, lowest on the reading, it says that, are we trying to change ourselves for others? Are we trying to change and transform in a way that is maybe not authentic, not really who we are? Are we rushing through the doorways rather than taking our moment to breathe in the doorway and make good decisions? It's the binary transformation of wisdom and foolishness. So questioning, are we making good decisions and not making wise decisions rather than foolish ones in order to gain approval of others or to shine brightly in the world? That's the question. You get to answer it. Dalet here at the very bottom, right below the Aleph. which is saying don't. Breathe. We have Lamed. Lamed is the letter of discernment. It is the first letter of the word lev, meaning heart, mind. So are we discerning well the things that we take in, the information that we take in, the food that we take in? Are we discerning about whether it will serve us? Are we using our heart, mind in a way that helps us to know the right path? Are we leaning into hope? Or are we just trying to ingest more and more and more in order to fill ourselves up with food or knowledge or spirituality in order to try to mask what's really underneath, rather than taking the time to really discern what's serving and what isn't serving? That's the question. And then over here on the far left we have Tzadi, which is upside down. It's the letter that means justice, tzedek, and righteous person, a tzaddik. And it's upside down, so are we doing things that are not just? Are we missing our own righteousness in service to performative action? Those are the questions that I would ask in this reading. So those are all the face-up letters. Those are what's shining right now. The sun in Leo right now in this hot time of the summer in the Northern Hemisphere. And then the shadow comes, right? Then the moon comes between us and the sun and reveals what's hidden. So let's take a look at what's hidden here. And I'm going to start at the bottom and move up. The lowest face-down letter in the bowl is Kuf. And it's face down at the very bottom. Kuf is the letter that means sacredness. And it's also Kof, which means monkey. And so what's being revealed right now, what's hidden and what's being revealed in this eclipse, is that everything is sacred. All the things, the glory and the hidden. The sacredness is underlying and supporting us in all of these things. And the monkey, it can be perceived as the monkey mind and jumping from one thing to another, but in this particular case, what comes for me is find silliness, find play. How can we find a way to enjoy the sacredness of all the things, the sacredness of the foolishness, the sacredness of the silly, the sacred fool, as it were, and really feel how the divine underpins the entirety of it all, that both the sun and the moon, both the glory and the shadow come from the divine. I love that as an underpinning for all of this here. I'm going to put it back face down. It will be revealed during the eclipse, and hopefully we can hold that and carry it with us. The letter that's amongst this cluster and on top of the nun here is the Samech. Samech is boundaries, and it's being surrounded by support. So what's being revealed is how much we are supported, how much we are supported by community, how when things go dark, we can huddle together, that we need to set up good boundaries for ourselves, and that is going to be a support for us in the darkness, so that when things are revealed, we know that we have a circle of protection that's around us. And that's important, particularly with regards to humility, because it's face down on top of the nun here. So finding our place that's humble to be surrounded by support. Moving up to the center, kind of right below the center line on this bowl, on the far left we have Pe. Pe is the mouth of the divine. And it's the mouth of us as well. It's speaking creation into existence. So knowing that underneath it all, we can use our words as spells, as power, so that we can speak forward that which is true and also what we desire. So in those dark moments of shadow, when we're trying to find our inner value and our worth in the presence of the stillness of the moon, speak blessing and say what it is you'd like to say during those few minutes of the eclipse today, or when you're contemplating that shadow part. Speak words of what is genuine for you underneath it all. Not about power, not about glory, but about what's really in your heart, what you'd like to create in the world that isn't about performance, but it's about connection with your highest purpose. And Pei is also the spiral of time. So knowing that things spiral around and come back to something that looks similar but is not quite the same. So leaning into the changing nature of the spiral in your time is being revealed in this eclipse. Right next to that, sort of as a kind of a sister pair here, we have the Reish. Reish is Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Chodesh Elul, which is the new moon coming in on this final month of the year of the Hebrew calendar. A new beginning. We always have the opportunity to start over. And we need to remember to remain humble, to bow our head as we pass through whatever transition we are passing through. This is what's going to be revealed, a new beginning. Up here next to the Vav, up next to the connection letter, we have Shin. Shin, which is the mother letter of fire. Connection, as you can see, there's 3 Vavs in the Shin. 4 if you count the one across the bottom. The fire, burning away things which no longer serve us. Passion in the head, with anger sometimes, but mostly heart. And the Shekinah, the indwelling presence of the feminine divine. She's the one who's underneath this all, connecting with us in the center place. As we try to connect with others in a way that's meaningful, remember to call in the divine. Call in the feminine divine to be here with you and your partners and with yourself as you try to really connect in this place of darkness. The fire is under there. The sun is behind the moon. And remember that even in the darkness, even in the shadow, the fire is there and the Shekinah is there. And the sun and the moon and the stars are all tied up in here. The 3 different flames at the top represent sun, moon, and stars. And it's hidden right here in plain sight behind the moon as the eclipse happens today. And as we move up higher in the reading, we have a bunch of blanks, a bunch of face down letters. I'm going to say blanks because they're showing the blank side, but right above the Vav, we have Gimel. And Gimel is stepping forward, walking forward in humility with the divine at your heels, walking forward toward something that is justice and purpose, finding your authentic purpose beneath the performance that we put on every day, beneath the outfit, beneath whatever it is that we're masking, is our authentic purpose, the thing that we should walk toward. And we step forward with that knowledge in that shadow place, that the divine has our back, and that we are in a place of righteousness. Right next to and slightly above the Gimel, we have Kaf. And Kaf is the palm of the hand. It's being supported by the hand of the Shekinah, being elevated and sheltered from the sun. Kaf is the letter that rules over the sun and the sky. So it's face down here in this eclipse reading, saying it's being suppressed a little bit. So If you've ever been in an eclipse, you'll know that it gets very cool and very quiet. And we are shielded from the sun for a moment, and it feels like a relief, and then it feels a little frightening. So when this is face down, way up in the reading, what it's saying to me is that we should allow ourselves to be sheltered by the hand of the divine, allow ourselves to be lifted by the hand of the divine, and to find our power in that reliance on the hand of the Shekhinah to hold us in these moments of fear, in these moments of shelter. And slightly above that, to the right, we have the Ein Sof. This is the blank. It's the infinite, the one who is always there underneath it all. Behind every letter is this blank surface. And she's way up high on the edge here, showing that behind the moon is the sun, and behind the sun is the moon, and behind it all is the earth, and behind everything is the divine, the infinite one, who is here at all times, has always been, will always be, holding us here, is the oneness of all. That when there was nothing else, there was divinity, and when nothing else exists, there will be divinity. And to remember that the divine is here for us in all the ways and all the times. Right near the top of the reading, slightly off the edge in the darkness, being hidden even in this moment. Up on the upper left, we have Tet. Tet is a container and a womb space, and the snake and a transformation, a shedding of the skin. And I love that for the eclipse, because we are shedding a skin when we go into that darkness. Something is being revealed, a newness. The container holds goodness within, Tov. So we have the goodness that's underlying all of this, that we don't need to perform or pretend to be good. We are inherently good. The goodness exists within us, regardless of how we appear to the world, and that's something being revealed right now. And at the very top, that's the highest face down letter in the reading, we have Mem. She's the mother letter of water. And it's another womb space. The Tet is a womb space and the Mem is a womb space. So it's about gestation. Just sitting in that gestation period where we are nurturing something within. And the darkness of the womb. That we all come from darkness. That we are created in darkness. That we gestate in darkness. And that it takes a long time to find what we will become. And that we end in darkness as well. So the Mem is here saying, feel those feelings. Water is about emotion, and it's about cleansing too. And I love that the moon has such an influence over water on our planet, and that we are mostly water. So let that moon influence you as she slips between the earth and the sun today. Let her pull you in the direction you need to go, and sit in that moment of gestation. Let things build and grow within you so that you know what you will become. Let the mother letter of water hold you in her womb and nurture you through this time of darkness and light. I'm not going to go back over everything today because it's a lot. It's the whole set. But you're welcome to go back and watch again if you want to get more insight. I really appreciate everybody who takes time to watch these readings, and I hope they're meaningful for you. I hope that you find your way today in this brightness of the summer as the eclipse comes over and shadows to show you what it is that you need to be revealed today. And with that, I wish you a beautiful Chodesh Tov Elul. May this be a month of contemplation for you and joy, and may we find the authentic selves that we need revealed in the darkness.